Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel today, guys, where we do have plenty, and I mean plenty, of Barca news to get through. We are going to be talking about the big breaking news on Espai Barça and indeed the stadium where Barca are going to be forced to play their football in 2023. We're also going to be talking about the future of Ousmane Dembélé and his optimism right now just growing about his contract situation. We are going to be talking all about that, along with the high-profile meeting that took place last night. It was a mystery kind of meeting between Barca's board and Jorge Mendes, the super agent. Who and what were they discussing? It is coming right up. So let's get to it. But if we do indeed begin with the team bonding, and I do want to talk about this because after Thursday's training session, the first team squad there, along with all of the management team at Barca, met for lunch. And what they did there is that they had one of the traditional Barcelona barbecues. And I think this is when you always know that in a season, things are getting serious. We have seen this in previous years when we're getting down to the final games, when we need that extra push as a team. We have often seen a barbecue with everyone together take place. And I do have to say here, I can understand the reasoning why, because I think right now what we simply have to do is gather everyone. Make sure that as a team, not only players, but staff and board, even Joan Laporta was there as well, along with Rafael Yuste, everybody together there. We've got to be united right now. We have to be a united team, a united club, because that's what we're going to need in these final games. And I just think something like this, it could help there, bring a bit of confidence back, a bit of belief among the team again. And not only that, but I think focused everybody. Make every single one of those players right now aware that, this is the business end of the season. This is a really important and crucial time for everyone. So let's get our head in the game. And heading into the weekend, let's hope we can get that boost. But if we do just zoom out a bit, if we do just look a little bit longer term right now, and when you do that with Barca, you simply must talk about Espai Barça, because that is the project there that is going to see the Camp Nou significantly renovated over these coming years in order to transform the stadium, both inside and out, into a state-of-the-art sports arena, and just refreshing it really, giving the historic stadium some much-needed attention. Now, it has been confirmed that finally, this June, work is going to start. We are finally going to begin what is a huge project that is going to last many, many years, and that will be starting in June. Now, next season, 2022 to 23, the initial work is going to begin on the first and second tiers of the stadium, but that is not going to interfere, Barca say, with the crowd, with the attendances next season, because Barca fully expect there to continue operating at full capacity throughout next season. However, come the summer of 2023, then the work starts on demolishing the third tier, because obviously the new Camp Nou is going to have a roof. Everything up there is going to be changing, so Barca are going to start demolishing that third tier in the summer of 2023. That means then, in the 23-4 season, Barca will not be able to play at the Camp Nou. Instead, the decision has now been made to take Barca away from our historic stadium and play temporarily at the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona. You can see right here that this was the stadium that was actually used for the 1992 Olympics that were held in Barcelona. And honestly, to me, it kind of looks like a slightly smaller Camp Nou. Obviously, you got the running track, which is not ideal. But other than that, you look at the stands, you look at the way that it's set up, it is very, very interesting. And it does have a capacity still pretty mighty at 60,000. So that's the second biggest stadium in Catalonia, only behind the Camp Nou, and the fifth largest stadium in all of Spain. So Barca here are going to be moving away from our home, but still to a pretty significant arena before in the 2024-5 season, Barca then will return back to the Camp Nou. The work will continue, of course, on renovating the stadium, but we will be able to play there, but at a reduced capacity of 50% before then. In the 25-6 season, Barca expect the work to be completed. It will all be done, and I honestly cannot wait to see what it all looks like. But of course, guys, when you are talking about the future, when you are talking about the years to come and new stadiums and all of this kind of stuff, who's going to be playing in it? And is Dembele going to be part of that future? Because as of right now, his contract continues to tick down. He has just over 2 months remaining on his Barcelona deal before that has expired. And talks between his agent and Barca have continued this week, with Dembele's agent Moussa Sissoko arriving into Barcelona earlier on this week and indeed meeting with the club once again. A few meetings have taken place now since the SAR events really that took place at the end of 2021, but I think this time around there definitely is a change of mood, a change of feeling in those negotiations. I think there's a lot more willingness on both sides to talk, to negotiate, to find some common ground on both sides, because obviously you can't have everything you want, whether you're Dembele's agent, whether you're the club. You can't have everything all in your favour your own way. You've got to find some sort of compromise, and that is what these lengthy negotiations are all about. And I think this time around, based on what we're hearing right now coming out of the Catalan media, based on these kind of meetings, there is a feeling that maybe Dembele's demands, or maybe his agent's demands this time, are indeed lower than those failed negotiations at the end of last year, and significantly lower at that. And I think for everybody's sake, Barca, Dembele, in order to find an agreement, they would have to be a lot lower, but it seems that's the road we're going down. And it is indeed being reported now quite widely that the positions between the two parties, they're getting closer and closer every time they meet. There's progress, there's good signs, and we just have to wait and see what is going to happen right now. Because obviously in the past, we have heard often that Dembele, he's close to staying. He's close to agreeing. He wants to stay. We have been aware of that, but it's never actually happened. So what we have to do now is wait and see, stay up to date on these meetings, and there will be another one with another meeting already scheduled between Moussa Sissoko and Barcelona. So let's just wait and see if this optimism can turn into something concrete. However, guys, that is not the only meeting right now, and that is not the only meeting that's been going on this week for Barca. They've really taken advantage here of the fact we haven't had a midweek game. There's been lots of talk on transfers, lots of meetings going on, and one of the most interesting ones came actually last night in a restaurant in Barcelona, where, as you can see right here, Joan Laporta was there, Mattia Almani, Rafael Yuste. They were all there, huge members of the Barcelona board, along with Jorge Mendes' right-hand man. You can see him there, Hugo Valdir, and also several members there of Jorge Mendes' agency, the super agent, of course. They're all pictured. Now, at the time, it was unknown whether Jorge Mendes himself was actually present at that meeting, but now it's said that he was. He was there in that meeting, but he just left apparently through a different door. The things that go on in order to escape journalists, I can't even imagine the kind of lengths they go through. But anyway, it was a big meeting. That is a lot of significant people. Jorge Mendes is a significant man in football, and to have all of the Barcelona board meeting him there, a meeting apparently that went on for around an hour in length, what were they discussing? Well, in terms of big Jorge Mendes clients, of course, there's plenty of rumours right now that maybe it was something to do with João Felix, somebody the club openly admires. Joan Laporta really likes him, and he's not afraid to say so. So obviously he could be one of those players that was discussed. Ruben Neves is another one there from Wolves. Barca have been linked to him quite frequently over the past few months. He's another client of Jorge Mendes himself. Even someone there like Darwin Núñez, who is actually not a direct client of Mendes, but the super agent has been asked to play a big part in his next move this summer. So even he cannot be ruled out. And also in the same sort of way, Xavi Galán, the Celta Vigo left-back who Xavi really does admire, is not again technically a Jorge Mendes client, but he is going to play a part this summer if he is set to leave Celta, with Premier League clubs interested, and also Barca too. What I would say though, when we're talking about all of these rumours and as all of these players get linked to Barca, there is of course every chance that maybe it wasn't necessarily a new player that was being discussed, because let's not forget here that Jorge Mendes already plays a part with plenty of current Barca players, Ansu Fati, Alejandro Balde, and significantly Nico Gonzalez. And there have been talks recently about a contract renewal for Nico, so that indeed may have taken up some of that meeting, but I don't think you gather all of those people there just to talk about a contract renewal. I don't think you need all of those to be in attendance, so maybe it was something to do as well with Adama Traore and also Francisco Trincao. Jorge Mendes represents both of those players, and of course, These are massive months coming. In the futures of both of them, crossing over, of course, one of them is at Wolves, one of them is at Barca. They may indeed swap around come the summer. We need to know what's going to happen with the two, so maybe there. It was a combination, if I had to guess, between Xavi Galan. I think he's somebody the club are definitely looking at and exploring the option of right now. I also think there, Nico's contract would have been discussed, and I definitely think the futures of Adama Traore and Trincao would have been on the agenda. So indeed, guys, that right there is the latest Barcelona news, and this, of course, is before we begin a massive, massive weekend again. I hope you'll all join me tomorrow as we build up to Barca versus Mallorca, where every single game of this season now, all of our remaining games, they're huge. Make no mistake, please let me know all of your thoughts today, guys, on what we have discussed and all of the Barca news. I will, of course, see you soon with plenty more to come. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.